Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome back to another episode of UNC Hoops Talk podcast. I'm your host, Dan DeWitt. Thank you for joining in. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that I'm flying solo. It's been a long time since I've done one of these alone by myself. I didn't even tell Gil and Blake I was doing this, and I'll kind of explain that in a minute. But just welcome in. Thank you. As you see the title there, Are the Tar Heels Peaking at the Right Time? We're going to talk about that a little bit today, but a little bit of housekeeping first. So I am leaving tomorrow. I'm recording this Friday. I'm hoping to get it out even before the Tar Heels play the semifinal game, but not guaranteed as stuff is happening so quickly. But really, I wanted to get on here. Obviously, thank you guys for listening all the time, but also it may be a good time if you're not subscribed to YouTube yet to get over to youtube.com/UNC Hoops Talk podcast. Subscribe. Really, all you have to do is put in UNC Hoops Talk, and I'm sure it'll come up. But subscribe there, hit the notification, because as we get into stuff happening all the time, we can't get it up audio wise. It takes me a few hours to kind of get it ready and then to be pushed out to audio. So if we do some late night, or if the guys really, again, I'll explain here in a minute. If they do some late night ones, it may not get up on audio at all, or definitely not kind of as it's relevant because games are happening so fast. So definitely subscribe on YouTube, because there may even be videos there that don't go out to audio. So I am leaving tomorrow, Saturday, for a week, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to kind of get some of the podcasts. I'm hoping Blake and Gil will fill in for me, still do some podcasts. I don't know if they'll be able to do it tonight after the Virginia Tech game, or if they wait till the ACC tournament's over. The NCAA preview obviously it's a big week and not good scheduling, but again, I'm going to be a little bit off the cuff here. So, yeah, previewing the NCAA tournament, ACC tournament review, looking back at it, kind of whatever happens here going forward, and then kind of the first round. I'm hoping I'll be back kind of for the second round there, to review that and go through those games, and hopefully the Tar Heels are still playing, obviously. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough for me, but I'm hoping that they're going to fill in. So subscribe on YouTube, UNC Hoops Talk on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed there so you don't miss anything. And it's a lot of fun if they do get to do some post game ones, or even looking back at it. So that's kind of my plea to you guys. 300 is in here. Appreciate you watching even in the middle of the day here as I record this by myself. But we are going to still kind of jump in. So last night the Tar Heels have a pretty dominant, not even pretty, a really dominant game against Virginia, a team we've struggled against. We beat them in the regular season. They've been down, but they've been playing better as of late, and we just completely dominated them. They did not shoot the ball well. We didn't necessarily shoot the ball well in the first half either. Brady Manick had, I think, Virginia had 13 and a half. I think he had 15 at half, ended up with 21, 7 rebounds. So he really led us. But outside of him, Baycott 10 and 11, got his 24th double-double, which gives him the single season record, breaking the tie he had with Bryce Johnson there. Caleb Love ended up with 10, but didn't shoot the ball well. RJ Davis, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Really, again, kind of like what we talked about after the Duke game, just set the tone, ran the team excellently. Leaky Black disruptive on the defensive. Again, they actually put him on the short guy, Kihei Clark, for Virginia, and he was just disruptive of their offense. I think that was a big thing in them shooting the ball so poorly. And then maybe the big story out of this, and I don't know if I even said the final score, we beat them 63-43. We're up 20 at half, beat them by 20 in the end. But probably the big story in this is just we were able to get our guys some rest. Some other guys got some big minutes. Justin McCoy played 17 minutes, which is the most off the bench, tied with Puff Johnson. Actually hit a three-pointer. I mean, this just looked like a different Justin McCoy. He was aggressive. He was not necessarily looking for a shot, but taking what shots he had there. Like I said, knocked down a three. He attacked. I mean, I don't hardly remember seeing him shoot unless he was wide open at all previously in the season when he was getting minutes, and he was just being really aggressive. Got 5 rebounds as well in those 17 minutes. 3 fouls as well, but I mean, not a big deal when you're playing the minutes that he had been playing. So We still got most of our starters over 30 minutes, but 33 was the most. Armando played 33, and these guys are used to playing, 37, 38. Even some guys have gone all game, or like the overtime games played 40 minutes. So to get 32, 33 minutes is a big break for them, and especially in the ACC tournament where now we're playing the next day, and if we beat Virginia Tech tonight, we play the next day after that again, of course. So big first win in the tournament, get our feet wet, get some confidence going. Especially again, we've been talking about since Pittsburgh. Um, you know, we haven't lost now. We beat obviously Duke. We went through that whole saga in the past podcast. You can go check those out. They're still fun to listen to, even though it's past. And yeah, just getting going in the ACC tournament here. And now we don't even play the 2 seed. Notre Dame was upset by Virginia Tech. So tonight, again, I'm going to hopefully get this out before the game goes, but you may not even get a chance to listen to it before the game. But we're playing Virginia Tech tonight, a 9:30 Eastern tip on ESPN. Duke and now I got to remember who they even play tonight. I believe Miami because they barely beat Boston College. But Duke and Miami start. I think that's like 7 Eastern. Does that make sense? I think that's right. Maybe 7. Yeah, 7 Eastern. Pretty sure is when it goes. But we got to take care of Virginia Tech before we more than likely see Duke in the championship. And there's probably a conversation there if we even. Well, we don't need to make the championship. We know that now. After the Duke win, I think we were pretty solidly in. We won this first game, and I think I've seen people have us around 8 or 9. So maybe if we would beat Duke in the championship, we can kind of move up to the 7-10 game, like a 7 seed, kind of get away from that 1 seed in the second round, which might be helpful. But really, I mean, we're looking good, and who knows what happens if we play Duke again? They may be so angry at us for ruining Coach K's last game, their senior night, all that stuff that they may put a licking on us, and we may not even want to deal with that. But obviously, we're not as afraid of them as we were before. But I don't want to talk too much about Virginia Tech tonight, just again because this may not get out before, or people may not listen to it before the game actually happens. But solid win against Virginia there. Really good for the guys there. 300 saying we better be ready for Virginia Tech. I mean, again, at this point, and probably the question is how hungry is Virginia Tech? Because I don't know that they're in yet. Again, I don't know. I don't follow the bracketology stuff enough. Um, but from what I remember, again, maybe this kind of put them on first 4 or last 4 in. I don't know exactly where people have pushed them after beating Notre Dame. Obviously, that was a good win for them. I did hear some conversations about it. Should Notre Dame even be in? They were the 2 seed in the ACC tournament, but do they really have that good of overall record? So, yeah, ACC not necessarily good bubble day for the ACC yesterday. Miami, I don't think was on the bubble. I think they were in. Wake Forest was kind of there on the bubble. They lost. Trying to think who else. Miami was the 4 seed. We're the 3. Again, Notre Dame. I think people had them in, but I think there's been questions now since they've lost. Will they get in? Virginia Tech, I guess, it was a good day for them. If they could beat us, I think they would probably be in. I'm not sure if they lose to us if they would be in. So maybe they'll be too hungry for us. I don't know, but obviously we beat them twice this season, and there's a whole conversation of it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season, all that stuff. But yeah, we do need to be ready for them if our goal is to win the ACC tournament for sure. No more Kerwin. I don't know. I mean, he didn't play much in this game. He did get a couple minutes there, 3 minutes, along with DeMarco Dunn got 4 minutes. Styles got 3 minutes. So I don't know if unless I'm missing something, 300. I'm not sure what you mean by no more Kerwin, besides the fact that he doesn't play much anymore, and that's been the case for a while here. But um, yeah, that again, Duke should handle Miami. You would think they were probably hoping that we win and get a rematch with them in the championship game. But again, hopefully Gil and Blake will be able to get on and podcast and review the ACC tournament. And obviously from whether we win the ACC or not, have kind of a week there to get it up. So that should get up on audio, and then hopefully we get an NCAA after Selection Sunday, get kind of a bracket preview and overall look at the UNC from the guys as well. Um, and we'll get that on audio as well. But again, as the first round goes, and as if they can do a nightly podcast here, I know that was awesome last year. I don't think we played as late of games, but last year we were kind of doing live podcast every night of the ACC tournament, and that was a lot of fun. But um, not sure that's going to happen this year. So again, subscribe on YouTube. Of course, we love that you're subscribed wherever you're listening to the podcast on audio, but there may be some that go up on YouTube this next week that don't make it up into audio. So would appreciate if you guys are there. So 300 clarifying he doesn't play anymore. He was our best 3-point shooter, but he doesn't play defense. So yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about that before. I mean, it definitely stinks for him, and we'll get into roster talk after the season of guys that could possibly transfer out, and he's got to be kind of top of the list to go from a starter to not playing at all. So there's definitely that possibility. But again, we'll look at that as we get into the off season after the Tar Heels are done. Right now, we're celebrating on. I guess we put it as a title: Are the Tar Heels peaking? I think we have to say they are. Duke. That was the best game to that point. I think they played better against Duke than they did against Virginia, and obviously they needed to. But even in this Virginia game, there was, and we talked about it after the Duke game. Some of the sets we're running just look cleaner and better, executed better, whatever it may be. But you know, Manic, even though he was hot against Virginia, was still getting open looks, and a lot of it, I think, there was the sets that either Hubert was calling. They've worked on them, whatever guys are clicking. We talked about all that stuff, and then our defense has been better as well. You know, Manic isn't the best defender, but he stepped up and played some solid defense. Baycott had a couple blocks last night. He hasn't necessarily been an eraser, but he was doing well on defense last night. And um, yeah, and we mentioned RJ just kind of running the show, becoming a better point guard, all that good stuff. So a lot to look forward to. Hopefully, a lot more basketball to look forward to from the Tar Heels this season, and that will continue. As I said tonight, 9:30 Eastern tip against Virginia Tech on ESPN, and then hopefully we have a good showing if we get there to the if we pull. I'm not too concerned. I've said this in past years. You guys listened. I don't really care if we win the ACC tournament all that much. Sometimes, again, maybe with this team too, maybe the rest is better. And I don't say that because I think we're going to lose or I don't want to play against Duke. But you know, hindsight, it could be better for us not to play and to rest up for the NCAA tournament, and just be ready for that. And let's make a little run. And I don't know that I would with this team even predict us go to the Final Four or Elite Eight, but let's get out of that first weekend, especially since I'm going to miss the first round for sure. Um, I don't want to just come home and again, hopefully I'll be able to see the game and I'll definitely be able to keep up with it. But I don't want to come home and watch one game and we lose it in the round of 32 and we're done. Like let's make it to the second round. Let's have something to talk about for a week as we look forward to a matchup in the Sweet 16. Let's have a chance at the Elite Eight. Let's make a run. So again, we're peaking at the right time, and we gotta make that last as long as we can. Hopefully we have some of that. So Grant says, wondering your thoughts on making sure to play a few bench guys knowing that we may need them in the big dance, or do we stick with the starters to try and win now? Well, hopefully I kind of answered that already, Grant, but again, I don't really care about the ACC tournament. I would say, I mean, I've been saying all season we need to play more guys. I completely agree with if that's who you trust, that's who we need to play to win games. And like Duke, you know, you sacrifice everything to win that game. And so we didn't sub and, we got that big win. It felt so great. I don't think anybody was sad, even guys that didn't play or whatever, they probably weren't moping after the Duke win because it feels so good. But there's other games throughout the season that we lost or you won and we had a big lead and maybe they only got a couple minutes played. Like, why am I not playing? And that's not necessarily a reason to play them, but I think if you're trying to get depth, it's almost a little bit late now. Now is obviously winning time, and not even necessarily talking about the ACC tournament, but this time of year, it's a little bit late to kind of develop a bench. Like they're either been good enough to get some minutes beforehand, or they're probably not getting much minutes now, or at least meaningful minutes. Um, and so, I mean, yeah, again, I think we should have been doing that all season. Again, we can't question Hubert now because it's looking so good, but uh, I don't think any minutes we're going to get guys now are going to develop them to the place where you're giving them meaningful minutes in the big dance. You know, maybe we say we're going to rest guys and hopefully beat Virginia Tech, and then maybe the ACC turn or championship we go back to playing those five guys again because it gives our best chance. You know, it's kind of like, if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't, kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we lose, even if they played all those minutes, you know, they got a week to rest up. We win this game playing our starters, and then I mean we lose in the ACC tournament, not much difference. So yeah, I don't know. 300 says he wants to win the ACC so we can cut down some nets. Totally. I mean, if I'm playing, you want to win every game. You're not saying like, it doesn't matter. Like you want to win the ACC championship and have that celebration, cut down the nets completely. I'm just saying, you know, for for me as a fan, I obviously focus, and I know they are too. They'd rather win the NCAA tournament and stuff, but um, I don't know. Just kind of my thought process is it's not as big a deal. I don't care personally, but then again, I don't have as much invested as Armando Bacot, as Brady Manick, all those guys. Obviously, they want that memory, and they're going to go for it. I'm going to cheer for them to win. It's not like I'm saying, "Oh, I hope we lose." I'm just not going to be as disappointed as if we would have lost against Duke, if we'd have blown a lead or something, or obviously losing in the NCAA tournament. So just my 2 cents. You don't have to agree. It's sometimes better that we agree to disagree, but what we should not disagree on is whether you should be subscribed or not. And so again, I've said enough. This podcast, subscribe on YouTube, especially for this next week. It's going to be the best thing. And even if you don't watch the YouTube videos later on or ever, I would love it if you would still go subscribe on YouTube just because it helps the channel out. So if you appreciate this podcast, go to youtube.com/UNC Hoops Talk and hit that subscribe button, and we'll be friends forever. But I'm kidding. That's really all I got for you guys. I just wanted to pop on and just let you know that even though ACC tournaments going on, NCAA tournaments coming up, and all that stuff, if stuff isn't popping up into audio, this is why. And I'm going to be out of touch a little bit. And like I said, hopefully we'll still get that stuff up there, but can't guarantee it. So subscribe on YouTube. Said that enough. So all right, guys. Tar Heels tonight against Virginia Tech. Hopefully, ACC tournament. Let's be ACC champs then. Whatever. Get ready for the big dance. So until next time, though, guys, go Heels.